Negroes. Do your duty.
This revolution is filled with so many ironies, really. First, you tell us that it is manly to keep your word, right? If you are a man, you keep your word. And now all of the black people in this country are demanding, and even the black people in the whole world are demanding, is that you keep your word. You told us we were free. Well, then show us that we're free. You told us that there is justice, equality for all in this country. Well, then stick to your word and let us see the justice and equality for all. Or else admit to us that you're not a man, you're a word, you're afraid of us, you're afraid to give us equal stand. You're afraid that if you give us equal ground, that we will match you and we will override you.
know that ain't who I think it is.
Y'all want to see a dead body?
Your ass is next. My man.
You can kill all the black folks you want, baby, but you will not kill the freedom of black folks. It's coming. We're going to get it. We fought every one of your damn lousy wars, baby, and you give us nothing. Now the war is going to be here, but we're going to be free. Now you kill you want to, but we kill too.
No. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Interesting stream today. Let me get this set because I really want this bed to go in there. I want to make sure that I am audible, and I believe I am. To anybody that's going to check the stream out on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, I appreciate you. You know, I always appreciate people who do so. But it is an interesting stream today because I'm coming from the village. So the villager on deck is going to stay in the village with it because I'm going to be talking about somebody from the village. You know, Aretha Franklin, the late great Queen of Soul. So I'll be talking about her as part of the main message. And we've got some other things that we're going to talk about within the village. Let me get this going here. Was that it? I can't remember if that was it or not. No, I don't really want that one. I want this one. There we go. So just trying to make sure that I've got everything set. But yes, unfortunately, I can't, in my heart of hearts, believe that Aretha Franklin and John Singleton are resting in peace. I believe they may be resting in turmoil because that's all that's been going on since they left this earth, since they left the living. There's been nothing but turmoil surrounding their estate, not their legacy, because their legacy is still intact. We love John Singleton and we love Aretha Franklin and we love everything that they did for Black American culture, American freedmen culture. We indeed do. But I think what happens is, and I told you probably 4 or 5 years ago, I can pretty much tie any plight to the American freedman lifestyle to reparations, not to slavery, but to reparations. And I plan to do that a bit here today. Coming up kind of impromptu. I really haven't gotten that set schedule yet just because I can't get this life thing in order. You know, life hits you and things happen and you can't go up where you need to go up. When I want to stream more, I can do things in the car and do things in the studio. Then it's a day that I can't do things in the car and then I can't do things in the studio. So I really need to get the schedule going because that's probably my most asked about thing. You know, do you have a regular set schedule? And I'd love to be able to tune you in or my thing is subscribe, hit the bell notifications on so you can see when I go live and be a part of that wheel. But if you just pick me up when you pick me up, I get it. But the whole thing is to subscribe to the Villager on Deck YouTube channel. That's where everything's getting fed through now or uploaded. Freedman Media is still up, but I'm not promoting Freedman Media because I don't know what they did to digitally to the channel, but they allowed it not to grow, or they made it a way where it couldn't grow. And I had too many people talking about it, but then the growth wasn't there. And then after talking to some professionals, people that are in this sphere, they basically said, look, man, they've pretty much killed your platform for this reason or another. And I've been banned on YouTube many a times, so I get it. They just probably got to the point where they were like, you know, maybe this is just going to be a problematic situation, but I just don't understand how my situation is one thing and somebody else's situation is another. And I'm not here to tit for tat because I don't really like that shit. I'm going to stand on my own merits. And what I've said, I've said. I know I've had people on my platform that have said inflammatory things, and frankly, it's gotten me banned. I've never gotten banned for something that I've done. It's always been people. So I have to be really careful who I bring on to the Villager on Deck or just bring on, period, because I can't have loose cannons out here speaking and me not paying attention and have something like that ride and then don't go back and edit it out post, you know, production wise. But it is what it is. But we've had a lot go on since Aretha Franklin passed away, since John Singleton passed away. And like I said, of course, their legacies are intact. We love the music that Aretha left us with, that she allowed us to have during her time of living. We loved that music. And as far as the film and TV projects that John Singleton directed, produced, wrote, whatever, I get it. I get, and that's why I chose this collage. You know, John Singleton's films shaped culture. I mean, they shaped culture, but they shaped Black American culture. They shaped American freedmen culture. And it wasn't just the movies. He had TV shows, of course. He directed music videos. He produced music videos. He did a lot for American freedmen culture. But unfortunately for both of these individuals, they've moved on now. And their legacies stand, but their estates stand taller. At least that's what it's being made to seem, because we hear more about their estate now than we hear about them. What's up, Free? We hear way more about Aretha Franklin's estate than we hear about people covering Aretha Franklin's music or being influenced by Aretha Franklin's music. And I'm sure many of us, you know, as I do, I've actually thought about watching Rosewood today. You know, I'm thinking about watching Rosewood today because that was one of my favorite John Singleton movies, even though it wasn't put in this collage that they made. They had Boys in the Hood, Baby Boy, Shaft. When him and Mike linked up for the Remember the Time mini movie video, Poetic Justice, Illegal Tender, Four Brothers, and Too Fast, Too Furious. Truthfully, I don't think that the Fast and the Furious franchise survives if John Singleton did not do Too Fast, Too Furious. He did the sequel to Fast and the Furious. And for them to bring him in, yeah, he was hot as fish grease at that time. I get it. But for them to bring him in, he saved that franchise, and it's gone on to do what, about 30, 40 movies since then? I don't know. They do a lot of Fast and the Furiouses, you know. And I thought it would slow up after, was it Paul Walker, after he passed away, but they just don't went another direction with it, and they're keeping that franchise going. But John Singleton played an integral part of that franchise, and his projects shaped American culture. His projects shaped American freedmen culture. So one of the things that I am very proud of when I can talk about people like John Singleton and Spike Lee and people that have produced positive films for our culture, films you can actually go back and watch with your kids, and you go back and watch with your grandkids. I understand some of them have some language in them, some of them have some nudity in them, but there's teaching points in all of John Singleton's projects. Anything that he ever did, there was teaching in them. And that was always what I love, the central focus of his projects. And if people remember going way back to Boys in the Hood, he always centered himself with having strong Black men in his projects. He always wanted strong Black men in his projects. And you never saw him do no simp action with his projects with Black men. I don't remember one. If you can remember one, please put it in the chat. I don't remember John Singleton ever bringing out a Black man as a simp, as the lead character. Now, of course, in his movies, he had to have all types of people play different types of roles. I get it. But the lead men in his films were always strong brothers. Go back and look at them. I've done my due diligence. I've done my due diligence. But he never put anybody in a lead role. Let me do a voice text real quick. Don't worry about that. Go ahead and spend your time on the lake, period. I just wanted to let you know because I won't be responding after this. People getting out and they're doing some things today. That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. They're able to do some things, have some peace, and hopefully I'll have some peace after I do this. I don't have peace right now because this is what I need to get out. This is what I need to get off my chest. Because when I do lives, and I think this is why I'm not going live as much as I used to go live. When I do go live, I have to have it ready to fire off. I mean, I got to be ready to scorch. I got to have the mindset. I can't do this thing half-assed. I've listened to some streams of my own where I felt like I didn't have it all, but I did it because it was scheduled. I can't do that no more. I got to be ready to go. I got to be ready to just straight up burn everything down when I do it. When I leave, it's just going to be a pile of dust. That's what I always plan to do. And teach along that way, but leave nothing unsaid, leave no stone unturned. Brother Trey, what's good with you over the road? Hopefully you're doing well out there on the road. But these individuals put their life and their work in our hands, and they put their estates in their families' hands. Maybe not so much with Aretha. Aretha's situation is very, very weird to me. The fact that the will that they're going to use, it's going to move forward and help her family be able to settle her estate, was stuffed in a couch cushion. We're talking about the Queen of Soul here. We're literally talking about the Queen of Soul and the will that is going to be executed in court was something that was stuffed in a couch cushion. I don't believe that's really taking care of business when you're the Queen of Soul. Now, if it's just, Sister Betty McGillicuddy from, First, Second, and Third Baptist Missionary Church, that's one thing. Maybe she just scribbled some stuff on the back of a funeral program and said, I'm leaving all my stuff to John Nathan, and stuffed it in the couch. But when you're talking about the Queen of Soul, when you're talking about the Queen of Soul, the Queen of Soul's affairs should have been taken care of better. And I know some people are going to try to blame Aretha Franklin for taking care of her affairs, but why would Aretha Franklin be taking care of her personal affairs? Aretha Franklin sang for presidents. Aretha Franklin sang for kings. Aretha Franklin sang for queens. Aretha Franklin sang for all of us. She was busy. Somebody else was supposed to be taking care of that. And whether it have been family or attorneys or whomever, but somebody should have put that in play. She had a couple scares where they thought she was going to be up out of here well before she was up out of here. So at that time, it seems like somebody would have got into play and said, you know what? We better get her affairs in order. Why didn't her affairs get put in order when she was here? I lost that bed. I need to get that bed back. Let me get that bed back. And if it goes away again, if I don't actually hear it until I'm listening for it. Because once I get to cooking, I ain't listening for no music. I'm not even looking for no comments. I'm not looking for nothing. I'm in my zone. It's where I'm at. And I need to stay there. That's why I don't go live as much as I go live. That's why I can't build this thing the way I need to build it. Because I've got life that's happening. And when life happens, I can't hit record. I'm in a turmoil with mine. It's crazy. Got to get them affairs in order, bro. Got to get them affairs in order. If we're talking about the same thing, we're talking about wills and testaments and, insurance policy and all that stuff's got to get in order before you stop breathing. Because once you stop breathing, it's over. It's open season. It's open season. Open season. So, but yeah, we've had a couple things go on here, and I appreciate everybody that checked out the stream a couple days ago. I had the Washtenaw County Sheriff candidate for 2024, Ken McGee, on. I had Ken McGee on, and we talked for 4 hours. Ken actually talked for probably 3 hours, and I talked for an hour. Ken talked a lot, and he talked a lot about his platform and things that he plans to do when elected. And we talked a little bit about the other people that are running. We didn't spend a lot of time on them because we got a lot of time to talk about the competition or lack thereof. The people, you know, who come in as qualified opponents or lack thereof. People that are really prepared to take on a county of 350 citizens or not. But we talked and we had a good build. Yeah, we had a good build. So the thing is, the election is until August of 2024. But just like the other people who are candidates, he's getting out in front of this thing and making sure that what he does is paced out. Because I know a lot of them try to hit home runs right now. They're trying to knock them out the park and woo people. And I get that, because that's what people do during campaigns. But Ken is not a rah-rah guy. He's not somebody that's going to try to captivate somebody for the moment, because this ain't for the moment. Being elected sheriff is for at least 4 years. It's turned into almost 16 years for the current sheriff, and he ain't done nothing for this county that I can be proud of. I know some people can be proud of it because that's their man. That's their main man. I get it. But he ain't my main man. He ain't never gonna be my main man because he ain't made Washtenaw County his main thing. But yeah, much respect to Ken McGee running for sheriff of Washtenaw County. Check out McGeeforsheriff.com, McGeeforsheriff.com. Let me go ahead and put that in the chat so when people do look at the playback or they come in a little bit later on the live, they can check out his site. And if they're in Washtenaw County, get a lot of insight into what you maybe haven't heard if you didn't watch the stream, because a lot of you did not watch the stream. I get it. But people that are learning about me, who I am, why I'm supporting him the way I am, I think they get it. I saw somebody with a whole bunch of comments on my Facebook post, on my Facebook post. And what was her name? Audra. Her name was Audra. And she liking all the links. She must not caught the live, which is a beautiful thing. I appreciate Audra. Because I said you never late. You never late to the stream. And when you watch the playback, I appreciate you just like you watched it live. Because she's now making a digital footprint and she'll share these links. I'm sure she'll share these links and she'll show people who else is out here running for sheriff other than those two other candidates that are getting a whole lot of pub. I have to admit, Alicia Dyer and Derek Jackson are getting a whole lot of pub. They're getting a lot of donations, getting a lot of pub. They showing up in everybody's picnics and this, that, and the other. People are getting deleted around here and they showing up at the vigils and the prayers and the this and the that. I get it. I totally get it. I need somebody to show up with a plan, though. I need somebody to talk about a plan, because I'm not hearing any planning. You ain't got to tell me your direct strategy, but just tell me what you planning to do besides march and pray. Because that makes people feel good for the moment, but we need you for 4 years. We ain't gonna march and pray through 4 years. At least I hope we're not. because that means we're going to have a lot more murders. And right now we sitting where we about on pace for 30 murders in the county when there haven't been 30 murders for the last 2 years combined. But when you want anti-police to be police, it's kind of tough. They social workers. I want social workers social working and doing a good job of it. I don't want social workers trying to negotiate with murderers and child pedophiles, and rapists of grown women and rapists of grown men. I don't want that. I need those people to be behind bars, and I need them to stop buddying up to them because it's gross. You're complicit with murderers. You're complicit with robbers and thieves and child sexual predators. How can you do that and say you want to lead this county, my village? How can you do that? How dare you? But we'll get to them at some other point. Right now, we got to keep it moving. We got to keep it moving. And I can't let this go another stream. Rest in power to Sister Joanne Watson. Sister Joanne Watson is amongst the ancestral now. And look, she put in her work in the city of Detroit, the state of Michigan, for American freedmen, for Black Americans. She put in her work. She put in her time. And now she's no longer amongst the living, but her legacy must still ride too. Just like Aretha's legacy, just like John Singleton's legacy, Joanne Watson's legacy must still ride. And if people don't believe that, then you don't know the work that she put in for the city of Detroit, for the state of Michigan, for Black Americans. You don't know. So if you don't know, now you know. And go look her up. Just go put in Joanne Watson. Small O, capital A. Go put in Joanne Watson. And when she comes up, click it. Click anything. And she's always going to be representing. And if you're in the city, July 22nd, that's next Saturday, there is a homegoing service. I'm going to pay my respects from afar because for one thing, I don't really like doing is funerals. I don't. And another thing, I don't want to hear that cheese-eating nigga Wendell Anthony say nothing live on TV or in person. And I know he grew up with Joanne Watson, so he probably has the rights to do her eulogy more so than anybody else. But I don't need to hear him. To me, he's cancerous. I know some people revere him as a local hero, and they think he's done a lot for Black people, and he probably has. But he's along the bourgeoisies, and he's still collecting that check from Kid Rock every year. And Kid Rock still continues to talk greasy about Black folks every day. Y'all keep taking that check, colored people. He gonna keep giving the NAACP money as his license to talk shit about Black folks. Y'all keep messing with Bobby Jimmy. That's y'all, not me. So this was something I saw interesting. I thought this was interesting because we just about to get into the message here. We about 30 minutes in, but I always like to do a little house cleaning. Things that I come across on my social, It says when a dog attacks a child and scars them for life, the dog is put to sleep. Y'all don't hear me. It says the dog attacks a child and scars them for life. The dog is put to sleep. Shouldn't we do the same to pedophiles? I think so. I think we should do the exact thing to pedophiles. Give me one quick second. I think we need to do the exact thing to pedophiles. If you put a dog down for scarring a child, why wouldn't you put someone we would call a human being? But a pedophile to me is not a human being. He's now a pedophile. His status as a mammal has now lowered. He's no longer considered a human being to me. He is a pedophile, and that's what he's going to be known as. That's what he's going to be known as, is a pedophile, no longer a human being. Yeah, that's the way I see it. I don't believe you should be amongst the living if you kill a child's body. And some of these people are complicit with it out here. You know, some of y'all like to get around with Nate and all them pedophiles, you know. There's pedophiles that be wearing the orange jackets with the SF. Told y'all about that San Francisco copyright. They coming for y'all. They coming for y'all. They don't want y'all using that copyright. I know y'all say it's for something else, but they don't need y'all using that copyright. You know, if they didn't like Colin Kaepernick taking a knee, they ain't gonna like what y'all done did out here talking about this is our logo. Get your own logo. Have some originality about yourself. Why are you using a sports team logo as your logo? Just because the initials are the same. Seattle Mariners got an S on their cap. Don't mean I use it for Shannon. What kind of shit is that? So they gonna get them. They gonna get them because they big time now. They big time now. Now that you got millions, you got millions to take care of the hood. I mean, I'm so used to seeing people pour millions back into the hood. It's funny to me when people pull millions out of the hood. You know, and I'm gonna have something on that in a minute. I'm gonna have something on that, but we're gonna get through the message first. That's something that's gonna be on the back of my mind. I got it, and it's from Taharka Bey. I don't know if a lot of people deal with Taharka Bey or not, but I've caught on to Taharka Bey's streams for the last several months, and he said something, and I believe it was last night's stream because he's up a lot. He's up. If I had to schedule a Taharka Bey, boy, I'd be a monster out here. But he said something last night, so if I remember before the end of the stream, something it totally coordinates with the neighborhood watchman of Washtenaw County, the millionaire neighborhood watchman. So what I'm gonna do is make sure that I get in with this at the end of the stream. But just don't let me forget to Free. Make sure I get Taharka in there. Information Man, what's going on with you? Anything I'm pumping, Information Man, is gonna be interesting. You know me. When have you known me to ever do anything that wasn't interesting? People don't like it, but it's always gonna be interesting, bruh. It's always gonna be interesting. But I appreciate you checking in. Check out Information Man's platform on YouTube. He got a big following. He ain't like me. He got a big following, you know. I got 3, 4, 5 people that get into my chat. He be having thousands in his chats. See, I got 3, 4, 5 people. We just got a little tunk game. We got a little spades game in the chat here. But, you know, Information Man be having a whole game room. They be dominoes, spades, tunk, bid whiz, euchre, backgammon, AC deucey. They do it all up in there. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. So, yeah, what I wanted to say was we need to be steadfast on these assailants of children. And we just had an attack of a young lady, and I guess she is back home. Well, she was at the hospital being evaluated. Carly Wilson was found. That's beautiful. She was found. I thought that was a great thing that she was found. I really did. I thought that was a great thing that she was found, because I didn't give much hope. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was giving it about a 10% chance that they would find her. And that might have been high. Generally, when young ladies, young men, children are abducted like that, we don't see them again, y'all. We don't see them again. Real talk. And I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful that Carly is coming home. I'm thankful. But I wasn't expecting it, because generally these animals do things to people and we never see them again. But they got Carly. They got Carly. And I haven't confirmed this, but they said, I believe that she was found at a Red Roof Inn. So it possibly means that she was under some type of attack at the time. But thank goodness. And she wasn't a child, so we couldn't consider whoever attacked her a pedophile. But they were definitely a predator. They were definitely an assailant by sexual abuse. So we definitely want to hold them in the same regard as a dog. When a dog scars people for life, they get put to sleep. That's what needs to happen to people that take people's sexual innocence. I don't care how old. Boy, I got this other one coming up too about Jehovah's Witnesses. I just saw that this morning. I actually read the post, and then Rashad Ritchie, I believe, another great brother online with the Indisputable Truth, is that what it is? He pulled something out about the witnesses, boy. See? Now, letting them up in your house might not be such a good thing going forward. But we're going to talk about that on another stream. I'm not going to let that one go into this stream, because we got to get to the message. We got to get to the message. Because the message today is this. And I realize it. At the end of it, y'all not going to like some of the things that I'm going to say. But I'm not here for y'all to like the things that I say. But I know a lot of y'all at the end of it.
Did you say nigga?
That's what you're going to say. You might even say it right when I'm saying it. I can hear somebody saying it right when I'm saying it.
Did you say nigga?
Yeah. But that's where I'm at with it. Shout out to Facebook letting those disputes go, or letting those disputes through, because y'all know I'm not using no copyrighted music at this point, but y'all keep putting up that I'm using copyrighted material, but I'm not using copyrighted material. These audio drops, some of these audio drops are less than 3 seconds. And I've already cited fair use in my captions. And I think that they see that I'm not, being aggravated with my usage of audio dialogue. I'm definitely not that when I use videos or whatever, but for some reason, they've been hitting me with the strikes. But then when I put the dispute through, they've been letting the disputes go because they see, oh, he's using that in context. He's using that based on what he's talking about. So we get it. We know he's not trying to use that for profit. Absolutely not. I'm not profiting from this at all, other than the fact that I'm getting it off my chest. I need to get it up off my chest. I need to get this dialogue, these situations off my chest, just like y'all need to get that pork up off your chest. Y'all need to get them chitlins off your chest. Need to get them pig feet off your chest. Need to get all that fat back and lard and strychnine and all that off your chest. Any of that meat, any of that, get it up off your chest. And get outside and get to walking. Get you some walking shoes. You know what I'm saying? So, Aretha Franklin, y'all. I tell you, the Queen of Soul, her records got played a lot in my house. When I was growing up, her records got played a lot in my house. My mother loved Aretha Franklin. She loved music. And Aretha's records got played a lot, They got played a lot. And the one thing that I learned about Aretha's music was that it really, really told stories. Her stuff told stories. And I know that there's this big debate about who is a better storyteller, Biggie or Ice Cube, in the hip hop community right now. And that's probably an uproar because it's the 50th anniversary of hip hop. But when you want to talk about R&B and you want to talk about soul music, you want to talk about that music that made you feel good, Aretha Franklin's music made you feel good because of the stories that were told through her lyrical content. And then you layered it with Aretha's soul. The musical compositions were always A1. And that's what happens when you got a musician who's also the vocalist. She knows what sounds good, or he knows what sounds good before it's even laid out. He not gonna put his voice, or she's not gonna put her voice on something that don't sound good. And she probably tweaked many records and the musical arrangements over the years because she knew what sounded like Aretha and what wasn't like Aretha. But this mess that's going on right now with her family, this is why she's not resting in peace. And it is indeed why she's resting in turmoil. They've been fighting over Aretha's estate since she left up out of here. And that's why I said I'm not sure why Aretha's affairs weren't put in order well before she did get up out of here. Because she didn't just fall. She was ill leading up to her death. They kind of saw the end in sight. They saw situations where they thought she was up out of here a couple times. Why wasn't her paperwork in order? And I go back all the way, I'll go all the way back to Clive Davis, people like that. Anybody that was over Aretha's career, around Aretha's career, from a power player standpoint, why didn't they make sure her family was taken care of, knowing good and well she wasn't going to live forever? She wasn't going to live forever. She had multiple marriages. She had multiple kids by multiple marriages. It was going to be chaos when Aretha got up out of here. And they knew that. They knew that, but they was getting their money so quick. Because anytime Aretha put something down, it was a hit. It was a hit. It was a hit. Did Aretha ever make a project where there wasn't at least one hit on an album? I don't think so. I personally don't remember an Aretha Franklin album where she didn't have at least one hit on the album. I don't believe so. So to find out that the will that they're going to execute and settle her estate with her family, with her kids, was the piece of paper that was stuffed in a sofa. Come on, y'all. That's what we doing here? That's how the Queen of Soul goes out? That's where her paperwork was? That was where her file cabinet for her pertinent papers were? In the sofa cushion? I mean, I'm sure there was some coins in there. I'm sure she had some of them mints in that sofa. And I'm not making fun of her death, but you already know what's in somebody's sofa. You're going to find loose change. You're going to find some candy. You can find all kind of things. We find our remote controls in our sofas. I mean, there was a whole lot of stuff that could have been found in that sofa. But I don't believe that her will should have been one of them. And to see that that is the actual document that's going to be used lets me know her family really didn't have it in play. Everybody was standing around and letting Aretha sing and tour and go here and go there. But ain't nobody handling the business. Somebody's supposed to be handling the business. Aretha's making sure there is business to be handled. Why couldn't nobody handle the business? This is what we need to do as people. That's why the name of this stream is called The Estate of the Black Family. because the state of the black family is in trouble if we don't have the estate of the black family intact. You got to understand where that came from. The state of the black family is in trouble if the estate of the black family is not intact. I'm preaching today. Maybe I'll call this Sunday service. Only reason I don't call my stuff Sunday services on Sunday no more. Too many of these motherfuckers got out here using Sunday service as the title. I was like, I'll let them go ahead and have that too. I make up a name. Here they come with Sunday service. Some people didn't even cast before, and all of a sudden they're doing casts on Sunday. Now it's Sunday service. They start doing Twitter Spaces. They start calling them Sunday service. Everything was Sunday service, Sunday service. All of a sudden it's Sunday service. Sunday service, Sunday service. So I don't even call my stream Sunday service no more. Good afternoon, Monica Williams. Yeah, I just come up, when I come up, I just come up with the title. So the title of this today is the estate of the black family. And that's because I'm concerned about the state of the black family. Sister Monica said we need to have a whole discussion about wills, trust, and life insurance, and how we must protect our assets prior to death to avoid probate altogether. Absolutely. That's what my granddaughter said. She said, absolutely. Yes, we do. That is a discussion that we absolutely need to have. Because what we gonna do? I haven't really been promoting this, but a lot of people have come under fire and needed attorneys and needed representation. And I represent Legal Shield, and I haven't really talked about Legal Shield, but the people that I have talked about it with, they're understanding more about what it is. Right now, I'm really just kind of a figurehead representation. I haven't really been moving it, but I really like to get the people that I work with on Legal Shield and have Monica Williams talk about wills and trust and all types of things. I'd really like to get those situations all in one, under one umbrella, and let's talk about representation. We talk about representation. We talk about documentation, protection, and all assets, because we not always gonna be here. And if we do expire, we don't need our stuff caught up in probate. Because once you go to probate, boy, it's over. Because you can't go to probate with a whole bunch of people, because you need to get a lawyer and they need to get a lawyer and everybody has to get a lawyer. And you know who wins out at the end of all that? The lawyers. The lawyers are the ones who went out in all that. The family ends up spending a lot of the money that they should have got through the estate paying lawyers. And with Aretha's thing, the IRS has been paid out of her estate. Some debts she had leading up to her death have been paid out of her estate. Everybody been paid out of her estate. You know who ain't been paid out of her estate? Her family. Aretha been gone how long now? And her family still ain't got paid, but the lawyers are getting paid because there's money in the estate. There's money for them to pull out the estate. So they getting paid. Oh, we'll get into talking about all that, Monica. We'll get into talking about all that. But see, the problem is right now, we can't get into talking about strategy until we talk about this tragedy. Because I love to talk strategy. But right now, I'm unfortunately talking about this tragedy. And it's only the first one up. We still got John Singleton's people to talk about. But we're going to talk about Aretha Franklin first. Sister Riri, Queen of Soul. She's the Queen of Soul, y'all. And her will was stuffed in her couch cushion. You just got to understand how crazy that sounds to me. And I don't know if it sounds crazy to you, but I think differently. I am a contrarian spirit. I generally don't think like the popular opinion, like the masses. I tend to think against the masses. Not that I don't really agree, but I tend to think a different way. So I'm a contrarian. I am a contrarian. Yes, I am. And in this right here, I just don't feel that Aretha has been treated with royalty. If she was indeed the queen of soul, she should have definitely had her affairs in better order than her. And it shouldn't have been her responsibility. Her responsibility was to go out there and get the bag with those incredible, undeniable, unforgettable, God-given pipes of hers. There'll never be another voice like Aretha. And I sure hope they don't come across with none of this AI mess, thinking that they're going to make somebody sound like Aretha through a computer. It's not going to happen. We know what she did before she got up out of here. They started doing some raggedy mess and started having her sing songs, you know, from people that she would never sing. They going to get cut up. I know some of these people, they with that stuff. Some of these people, they with that stuff, but I'm not with it. Let history be history. Leave it be. Leave Riri be. But man, when I saw this, it was crazy to me. They got her son, Kev N. This is his name, Kev Franklin. The youngest son of Aretha Franklin points out to enlarged documents during the jury trial over the singer's wills. They had to make sure it was proof. They blew the wills up. Now, this wasn't the actual paper that was stuffed in the sofa, of course. They blew them up, put them on these posters. But this is the stuff that was in her couch. And for authenticity, they got her son up there explaining in court. And there's the attorney right behind him. And he's like, take your time, brother. I get paid by the hour. Take your time. Because that's what the lawyers are doing now. They are getting paid to do nothing. They're just representation for the descendants of Aretha. And they're going to get paid regardless. Regardless. Because there's money in the estate. There's millions in the estate. So they don't care who wins. They don't care what will is what. They're getting paid regardless. You hear me? But it's come to this. We went from this to this. And that's shameful. That's shameful. And the only winners in this are the attorneys. You hear me, information man. You hear me. So when I see things like this, I have to think about the state of the Black family. Like, look at the situation that we're in. Aretha performed for millions upon millions of people, sold millions of records. And her family is now fighting over her estate. And I can point into some things that I just don't think are just. They're not as pertinent on this state, but the one thing that I will say, why is her family having to fight over her money after all the money that she made? After all the money that she made, why wasn't everybody good when she died? What did everybody do? I know everybody had the opportunity to go to good schools. I know everybody had the opportunity to get in business. I know everybody had the opportunity to possibly work for Aretha Franklin Productions. One of her sons was her guitarist. He's in this fight too. He's a musician. He took some of that musical talent that she dripped off of and became a musician and became one of her guitarists. So I'm thinking, why aren't the rest of her kids straight to the point where they not having to fight over this money? And I know the estate, they say it could be worth upwards of $80 million. And I don't know how that all breaks down cash-wise, but this seems very cash poor to me. And we'll talk more about that when we talk about wills and trust and life insurance and how to protect assets. Lady Bird deeds to ensure that the property stays with the family. They obviously got that because they were able to retain that $1 million plus home out there in West Bloomfield. They still got that. They didn't have to give that up to the IRS. They didn't have to give that up to some type of emergency estate fire sale. They still own that home, and it's probably worth more than it was before, just because houses are worth more than they were before. So seeing these types of situations that they got to go to court to fight over money that they should really already have bags upon bags. I mean, Kev, 53. He's the youngest son. He's 53. I'm 53. And I'm sorry, but if Aretha Franklin had been my mama, sorry. I probably would have been Aretha Franklin's MC from the time that I could really talk straight. You know, they say you can't pee straight. When I learned how to talk straight, I was about 14 years old. That was when I was able to call in sick for people and be like they daddy. My voice was as deep as most people's daddies. Hell, I called in sick and I was people's daddies and they daddies didn't even live in the house. But the school didn't know that. The school didn't know that. I just had to have the daddy's name and make sure that the daddy was on the emergency card. And if the daddy was on the emergency card, I could call in for him. Or if it was the brother, if it was the uncle, who's on your emergency card? You got to find out who's on your emergency card, because obviously I can't sound like your mama. I was hoping I didn't sound like somebody's mama with this voice. If I sounded like somebody's mama with this voice, we was in trouble. We was in trouble. We better not, we better not be sounding like nobody's mama with a voice like this.
I know that ain't who I think it is.
Because that's what the principal would have been saying. But they never caught me. I never had anybody ended up with an unexcused absence or having to deal with their parents because the school called in question. One of the sons needed a guardian ad litem to represent his behalf, I believe. I'm not sure exactly what that is. Guardian. Oh. She has a challenged son. Yeah, she has a developmentally disabled son. I think, is that what you're talking about? The developmentally disabled? Because she had a DD kid. And he's obviously grown now. His affairs are automatically taken care of. His money's not being held up because it takes care of him and helps him live. I'm not sure if that's what you mean. I don't know what litem is. But to have the siblings fighting over her estate, not having her paperwork in order, it just puts things into a different frame for me. And it just lets me know that the state of the Black family really relies on the estate of the Black family. Okay, just wanted that clarification. Appreciate you and your activity in the chat, Monica. Appreciate anybody that's in and out of here. I've seen the numbers go up and down. I can't really ever tell who's listening, how many are listening, unless they actually get in here and talk. Right now, all I know is Information Man, Monica, and Free up in here. We got enough for a spades game. We ain't even got to play rise and fly because we ain't even got enough in here in the chat. I only really count the people in the chat. If they sitting back lurking and looking and listening, okay, I get it. Some people don't like saying stuff. I get it. But if you say something and I know you're here, then we can at least add you to the game. Then we can play rise and fly. Maybe we ain't supposed to play rise and fly. Maybe that's just in my mind.
In my mind.
So what we gonna do? This one's a tough one, man. This one's a tough one. Because John Singleton, appreciate your information, man. John Singleton. I mean, I revered John Singleton as much as I revered Aretha Franklin for them being a part of my upbringing, my rearing, you know, my early adulthood. Appreciate Prime Legend watching from his phone. Appreciate you, brother. He just texted me. He's like, I'm in here. American Freedman on deck. I need this. I need that. He ain't got to get in the chat. He's in a situation where he can't get in the chat. I'm trying, brother. I'm trying. He's trying to keep it alive. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to keep it alive. This was for you, Prime.
I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No.
So, you know. But John Singleton, man, starting with Boys in the Hood, that was the movie that really put him into prominence. And he did work before, but we didn't really know a lot of the work before. Did you know that John Singleton was a production assistant on Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure? He was an in-house production assistant on Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure. Before we knew him with Boys in the Hood, John Singleton was running around getting Pee Wee Herman some coffee. He was a production assistant. He was a gopher. He paid his dues well before Boys in the Hood, well before Baby Boy, well before he directed Shaft, well before he did Remember the Time, well before he did the sequel which kept the franchise of Fast and the Furious alive, well before Four Brothers, a really underrated movie still to this day. Four Brothers is a great movie. And you know what? I ain't even gonna front. I ain't even gonna front on Prime because I already know what Prime here for. I already know what Prime. Here you go, Prime. Let me just break into it because this is where me and Prime go back to.
Kid, get the fuck out of here.
Uh-oh, Trey Lincoln back in here. Trey Lincoln's he's got next. He rise and fly. So we got Prime and Trey Lincoln for the rise and fly. We got more people in here that really seem, like I said, everybody ain't gonna get into the chat, and that's okay. But if they listening, they learning. If they lurking, they learning. If they know they just grifting, they learning too. They learning too. It's all good. I'm straight. All day, all night. So, when we're in a situation to think about John Singleton's impact, and I can't forget Illegal Tender, and I can't forget Poetic Justice. Poetic Justice is really what made Tupac Shakur a superstar on the film. I mean, I know a lot of people say he got there with Juice, but Tupac wasn't there. He wasn't there yet with Juice. But when he did Poetic Justice, man, when he did Poetic Justice, it showed some range, you know, and he did it under duress because, you know, I guess there was like some problems, like Janet Jackson wanted him to take a AIDS test, and they didn't even have a real sex scene. They just kissed. She put Tupac through some things, I guess, you know, to be a part of that movie. Brother Trey said, I got next. I believe it. I believe it. But Janet was, she was on that level at that point, you know. She was on that level. And was a Q-Tip that was her boyfriend at the beginning of the movie? I think Q-Tip was her boyfriend. You know. Q-Tip is actually a really good actor, low-key. He's a very, very good actor. So, but yeah, he did movies that shaped a lot of culture for American freedmen. Boys in the Hood, strong father figure. Strong father figure. Lawrence Fishburne, Furious Styles. He was a single father, but he wasn't a single parent. Angela Bassett was his co-parent. She was his co-parent. And then you had a single parent. Was there Farrell? She was Doughboy and Ricky's mama. She was a single. There was no baby daddy around, you know. And they showed the contrast of kids growing up without the parent, without that male dominant figure in the house. And he was a mentor of sorts to Ricky. I'm sure he tried it with Doughboy, but Doughboy probably wasn't hearing a lot of that shit by the time the movie got deep, you know. And then we take it to Baby Boy. He put Ving Rhames in there. Ving Rhames as a strong male dominant figure. Because Jody wasn't. Jody wasn't a strong. He was raised by a single mama. And mama got to have a life too. And while she was probably proud and she thought she did the best she could with Jody, she had enabled him to be a little bitchified. He was a little bitchified. Jody was a little bitchified, you know. Shaft, Samuel L. Jackson. You know, John Shaft was the epitome of a strong black man back in the day. John Shaft was the epitome of a strong black man. So many brothers wanted to have a haircut like Richard Roundtree. Played Shaft. Wanted to dress like Richard Roundtree. And he just basically brought it all the way up. He brought it all the way up to current times and put Samuel L. Jackson as a Shaft character. And then he changed the game when he did Remember the Time video. See, people always want to talk about Michael's skin, but they don't understand how black Michael was, how black Michael really kept it. Now, I realize he had them beige babies. I got it. But Michael was black. Michael was from Gary, Indiana. And I don't think the Gary, Indiana really ever left Michael. But the man was just ridiculously talented, ridiculously creative. You hear me? He was just ridiculous with it. And what he did for us as black folks, we were able to live through his productions, not in a fantastical way, but we could see certain things in all of his productions that might have mirrored some parts of our lives. That's what makes a good director. That's what makes a good producer. That's what makes a good actor. That's what makes a good entertainer. Make it believable. You make it believable, I'll watch that shit all over and over and over. Not that I want to emulate it and go make my life that, but I watch it over and over because it's relatable to my life. And he did that with so many of his projects. One project that they looked at as a failure because it was a box office failure, but it was really one of my favorite, if not the favorite movie of all time for me, for John Singleton. And I have to say now, it probably supersedes Boys in the Hood because it showed his flex. It showed his flex with Rosewood. And everybody don't like Rosewood. I get it. Everybody don't like Rosewood. Everybody don't like what Rosewood stood for. I get it. I get it. But you know what? I know it was loosely based on the true story of what happened in Rosewood, but damn it, that was about as believable as you gonna get. It made me believe it. It made me believe that all that stuff could happen because all that stuff did happen. The characters and the names have been changed to protect the innocent. I get it. But they also were changed to protect the guilty because that shit really happened. That really happened. And Ving Rhames and John Voight and Don Cheadle and Elise Neal. I believe that shit. Esther Roll, I believe that shit. Esther Roll used to make me so mad as Florida Evans. I mean, I loved her as Florida Evans, but she used to make me mad. But she was the queen in Rosewood. And man, I remember being in that movie theater, and when they shot her and she dropped to her knees, my heart just sunk, man. My heart just sunk. I'm telling you, man. And that was real. That was real to me. Excuse me. And, you know, gets to a certain part of the stream where I figure, you know, I ain't putting nothing in the air the whole stream, but when it gets to a certain part of the stream where I feel compelled to put something in the air, it's probably because the stream has kind of struck me. Struck me in a certain way to where I want to just stay focused. And what I'm putting in the air helps me stay focused. But the lack of focus with John Singleton's family is what I'm really talking about today. The lack of focus. Let me go on and get something up out of here so I can add a screen in. Give me one quick second here. Yeah, this is, it's harmful, I tell you. It's harmful to see what's happening with John Singleton's family. I tell you, it's harmful. But we're gonna cook on this. Because ain't nobody really talking about this. Ain't nobody really talking about this. See, I know I talk about things that ain't nobody else talking about, and then I don't get the things that other people are talking about. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to bring something up. I'm going to bring something up because of the state of the Black family. The state of the Black family is in trouble because the estate of the Black family is in trouble. So let me go on and get this up here, right? Let me get it ready to cook. Okay. Let me get it ready to cook. So there I am in the corner. Y'all didn't really need to see me. Let me add this to the stream. Okay, so we got, this came from Vibe magazine. Well, I remember Vibe. Vibe was a great magazine, y'all. That magazine was bigger than a placemat on the table. You know, Vibe magazine was bigger than a placemat. It was a huge magazine back in the day, big magazine, right? I used to get it. I used to have a subscription to Vibe back in the day. The magazine was owned by Quincy Jones. I don't know who owns Vibe now. I don't know who Quincy sold it to, but now it's Vibe.com. You know, magazines really ain't popping the way they used to be. So they just put it online, and I think you can subscribe to it. I don't know why you subscribe to it because I watch it for free. But anyways, I got this from Vibe.com, and then I believe there's another editorial that I'm going to skip over to, but it says John Singleton's mother. This is John Singleton's mama, y'all. This is not John Singleton's baby mama. But even though she's in this too, and we'll get to her in a minute, but this is John Singleton's mother and daughter in legal battle over allowance. Now, it's been stated and been documented that John Singleton's legacy is well intact. But I thought after all the projects that John did over the years, that he'd have had a little bit more of an estate. It says his estate is only about $6 million. Now, I've gone through several circuits and it's coming up $6 million. His mama has now said his estate is about $6 million. I don't know why John's estate is not worth more than $6 million. But, you know, it is what it is. Maybe he, as a director, got lump sums and didn't get a lot of residual earnings like a lot of people get when they write and produce. I know he wrote and produced Boys in the Hood and Poetic Justice and stuff like that, but maybe the stuff that he just directed, he really didn't get all of the royalties, the residual royalties. I'm not trying to forecast that. I wonder. But let me get this a little bit bigger so y'all can see it. Hopefully y'all can see it. I never noticed John's eyes in this. His left eye is kind of low. Not sure exactly when that was taken, but. So John Singleton's mother and daughter are embroiled in a legal dispute over the daughter's school allowance. So you got to understand here. They are in an argument over her school allowance, y'all. Really? According to Radar Online, who we will go to in a minute, the late director's daughter, Cleopatra, is battling his mother, his birth mother, Sheila Ward, in court over $2,700, y'all. $2,700 a month. So you got to understand why I said the state of the black family truly lies in the estate of the black family. She was to get and got, from what I know, $2,700 a month financial support while she attended college. According to Ward, who is the executor of the state, Cleopatra should not receive further payments since she has graduated from Xavier University of Louisiana in May of 2021. And Cleopatra, she still thinks she's supposed to be getting bread because she continues to take online courses. She also contends that since Cleopatra continued to receive her monthly allowance after graduating, the sum of payments made after the date should be deducted from the final payout she's set to receive from the estate. Ward has requested that the court allow her to end the monthly allowance payments on those grounds. Cleopatra argues that the payments should continue because she is enrolled in an online school. Now, this is where I got a problem. Because I know we got people out here getting online degrees all over the place. They getting certified, bona fide, qualified from getting online degrees. I get it. Back in the day, it was University of Phoenix. Now everybody can do an online degree. I get it. But she went to Xavier University of Louisiana and got her degree. Once she got her degree, she should have got in the paint and start working. Something's done triggered John's mother to make her say the payment should stop. It just ain't that she don't want to give her grandbaby $2,700 a month. What is that, about $600 a week? $600 a week. Come on now. Why wouldn't Granny want to give you $600 a week if you rightfully in school? But it sounds like Cleopatra might be on some shit. She says she's still enrolled in an online school. Are you working, Cleopatra? You finished your studies in Xavier. What'd you finish your studies in? You didn't get a job in the major that you went for? There's nothing like sitting in a classroom and getting that education. Well, apparently, Cleopatra prefers online school free. She claims that her grandmother's final accounting reports contains woefully inaccurate information and should not be approved by the court. Part of her reasoning is that the report is devoid of documented proof of transactions listed by Ward. So I guess there's some more money that's unaccounted for, and she thinks that should come up. Okay, I get it. The monthly allowance was first approved by the court in December of 2019, months after Singleton's death earlier that year. The allowance was intended to be used as a financial assistance due to Cleopatra, because John was probably breaking her off bags. John was probably breaking her off bags when he was living, that's what a daddy would do, right? You know, if your daddy's able and he can put the money on your books, he's gonna put the money on your books. John was probably paying for that education too, being a full-time student who did not have other resources of income at the time, right? Because John was the source of income at the time. And when John died, that bag stopped, so they made her an allowance. School was probably already taken care of, and they just gave her an allowance. John Singleton passed away in April 19 after suffering a stroke, which left him paralyzed in critical condition. He was taken off life support at the behest of his family on April 28th. He was 51 years old at the time of his death. Now, that was the end of that article. So let's go back up here to Radar Online, because they got a little bit in depth. I think this is the one that got a little bit more in depth. Yeah. They said something, I believe it was them. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe it's not that. Maybe it's not that. Hold on one quick second. Hold on one quick second. So, yeah, so let me go back to Singleton's estate. Can y'all see that? There we go. The cinematic voice of the hip hop generation. So, let me find what I found in this. It was crazy. Where is this at? Might be down way past. Yeah, it's past all the credits. I'm trying to get past all the credits, because this isn't the stuff that I want to see. All right, so somewhere, his mother, the mother of Cleopatra, is actually suing John Singleton's mother for $15 million. Now, it's already been stated that John Singleton's estate is only worth $6 million. So I'm not sure why John Singleton's baby mama would be suing for $15 million. I'm not really sure, knowing that if the estate is only worth $6 million, and I don't have that. I thought I had that. Give me one quick second. It might be in something else. I know I just read it. Or was it before all the stuff? Hold on one quick second. Let's go back. Radar Online. passed away, critical condition. Why isn't that in here? But yeah, she is actually suing. The mother of Cleopatra is actually suing. I might as well just go ahead and come up. We can put this back here and I'll come up here. But the mother of Cleopatra is suing for $15 million. Now, what she's saying is that John borrowed money from her. She's saying she helped John with money over the years with projects. I've never heard of her before. Literally never heard of her before. But she's saying that she helped him with projects, and now she's suing for 15 million, and Cleopatra is actually suing for $1 million. This is what I don't really understand. How they suing for all this money that ain't there? If his estate is worth 6 million, who are you gonna get 15 million from? Make it make sense. The estate of the black family is only worth 6 million. How you gonna get 15 million? Because the estate of the black family has 6 million. The estate is worth 6 million. No more, no less. And it's supposed to be split up equally amongst his 7 kids. John had 7 children. And maybe that's why he didn't have a lot of money. His 7 kids living an opulent lifestyle. He spent a lot of money over his years. John was out here 30 plus years doing his thing. And he was producing kids during that time. So I get it. I get why he might have died being only worth $6 million. I'm probably not going to be worth $6 million when I die. I don't know. I plan on hitting a couple good licks over the next couple years, though. The planning's there. And let's just say if I am worth 6 million, trust me, somebody's going to open up a manila envelope. They're going to open up a manila envelope, and it's going to be stated what is what. And there'll be one executor to the estate. And if I expire and that person is still here, that person will control everything. And if that person expires before I do, it'll go to the next person. Because once it gets set, I'm not changing it. You ain't gonna make me mad and you know what? And then they be like, oh man, we found Shannon's will in his lazy boy. What? No. It's not what's gonna happen. That's not what's gonna happen. So, one of the most epic lines of all time.
Y'all want to see a dead body?
One of the most epic lines of all time from Boys in the Hood. It just showed how desensitized little kids were about seeing corpses. And that's real. That's real. That happens pretty much probably in every inner city in America now. Y'all want to see a dead body? I saw a dead body last night. Kids are desensitized. This is why we have so much killing out here. This is why we have such a lack of respect for firearm safety. Disregard for life. Because of situations like that. John was trying to tell us back in the day.
Y'all want to see a dead body?
So, man, I found one of my old, can you see it? Found one of my old Kiefer Brotherland, The Dark Side podcast. The Dark Side podcast. Short-lived by name, but it was just really at the beginning of when I was really doing this on a different level. There might be still some Dark Side clips out there, but I believe I've grown since The Dark Side. You know what I'm saying? I believe I've grown since The Dark Side. But they fighting over 2,700, y'all. They fighting over 2,700. And the problem with this is the grandma's saying she's not owed that money anymore. I'm not saying that the grandma's going to go spend it, but the fact that it's an issue that she's getting 2,700 is a problem within itself. There shouldn't be no issue with her getting that money. But the grandma done seen something that's saying, nah, we're going to hold this back. You was paid in full while you was in school. Now you not doing the right thing, so we're going to hold this back. And we're going to deduct the money that you did get when you wasn't in school from your last payout. Now she putting stipulations on it. She's really not grandma's baby. She really not grandma's baby. Because grandma's baby, boy, she wouldn't be in a situation like this. Grandma's cutting her off. Grandma is cutting her off. I can't call her Grandma Singleton because her name is Ward. But grandma is cutting her off. She's cutting her off, man. Yeah. Yeah. Cutting her off. So $2,700 is nothing to break up a family about. $27 a month. You know what I'm saying? About $675, something like that. Well, $675 a week. That's nothing to cut a family off, cut a family up, just have them embroiled. Not a baby mama coming in, she trying to sue for money that ain't there. You already on it, Free. You already feeling it. You already feeling it. Grandma knows something going on. Something's going on. Something's going on. You know what I'm saying? Something's going on, and grandma knows something. If anybody knows something in a family, it's going to be grandma. You know, if it's going to be grandma. If somebody knows something that's going on in the family that's wrong, sometimes it may skip the kids and go right to the grandma. Go right to the granddaddy. Grandma and grandpa know shit. You hear me? Grandma and grandpa know shit. They got that discernment. Since we Sunday in it, they got that discernment. Yeah. Grandparents got that discernment. And they can tell when bullshit is abound. And I believe bullshit is abound with Miss Cleopatra. I don't know for a fact, don't know what kind it is, but for some reason, she needs that 2,700 stat. What's up with that? Why she need that 2,700 so bad? And why her mama pushing for 15 million, knowing that John ain't never gonna make another project in the world, and ain't nobody ever gonna drop another bag like that off on John. You can't get blood from a turnip. Ain't that what they say? You can't get blood from a turnip. Why is she trying to get money from a bank account that is closed? Come on now, make it make sense. Make it make sense. Hopefully I'm making sense right now. Hopefully I've been making sense. If I haven't made sense, then, you know, maybe that's why we still at a tunk game with Rise and Fly. But I think I make sense. I make enough sense. Hey, I make enough sense to have hundreds of people in here. But it don't matter. I mean, hundreds gonna end up watching it. It take a little time for my numbers to swell up. It takes a little time. I'm a grower, not a shower. It is what it is. But where I am now, looking at these things, and we're going to get with people like Monica, we're going to get with people like my Legal Shield folks, and we want to talk about, you know, Prime in here got me laughing. Trying to get that blood from a turnip. Trying to tell you, you can't do it. There's no money. Now, even if she said, like, I'm suing for $6 million. If she knew his estate was for $6 million and she said she was suing for $6 million, that would show some greasiness right there. That would show like she ain't trying to let his other kids have nothing. I want it all. I want the whole bag. And you just one baby mama. You just one baby mama. And I think they had 2 or 3 kids together. What about all the other baby mamas? What about all the other kids, huh? You don't care nothing about them? Now you being greedy. But she doing it for $15 million. I can't even say she greedy because she ain't trying to get just the money that's there. She's trying to get money that doesn't even exist. So I say she crazy. I say she crazy. She just like that woman that went to Target and put all that stuff in that cart and her debit card didn't work. She blamed Target. She went off on the store because she didn't have enough money on her debit card. How? How you do that? How they do that there? How you gonna blame somebody because you ain't got enough bread on your account? Maybe you should put 2, 3, 4, 50 of them items back. When it says insufficient funds, it don't say you ain't got no money. It just say you ain't got enough money. You have an insufficient amount. You might have a sufficient amount of items, but you got insufficient funds. So we're not gonna be able to let you walk out of here with all this stuff. But if you back it up a taste, just back it up a taste, about 40, 50 items, you have enough to do that. But she went off on Target. She got mad at Target. You got stuff in there that you can't afford. And I don't know what it is, but all your food should stay. All your food, all your necessities. If you're buying clothes for your kids, all that should stay. All of it. I'm never going to tell nobody to put no clothes back for no kids, put no stuff that the kids need. I'm never going to tell nobody to put that away. You keep that stuff. You keep all that. Keep the clothes and keep the food. Keep all your toiletries and stuff. Y'all need your deodorants. You need your soaps. You need your lotions, your shampoos, your cleaning supplies. Keep all that stuff. Keep all that. Don't turn none of that in. But maybe you don't need a 32-inch TV, seeing that you got a lot of flat screens already in your house. That's a couple hundred. You know? Maybe you don't need a bunch of toys that your kids want, since you ain't thrown away the other toys or figured out which toys your kids don't even play with no more. You just getting them new stuff because you got the bag. Maybe you don't need that video game system or them video games because they already got video game system. They already got video games. You just getting them a new one because you got some money. Put some of that shit back. Don't blame the store because you can't afford it. And she got up in there saying, I want my reparations. See, that's the goofy shit with the reparations movement. People holler out reparations for the silliest shit. She said Target owed her reparations because she couldn't afford the stuff that she had in her cart. Now Target got to pay reparations. How? Target didn't tell you to come in there and get all that stuff. Target didn't tell you to come in there and get one item. Target don't owe you nothing, but it's Target discounts. And once you get your Target discounts, hopefully you got enough money to pay for the rest of that shit. And if you ain't got enough money to pay for the rest of that shit, take some of that shit out the cart and let's move forward amicably. Because you know what they can do? You can scan your card. You can scan your card. They can tell you how much money you got on the card. Then they can tell you how much money is due. And then they can hit refund and start to back scan stuff that you tell them to take out. And once you get under enough to where you got the money matching the amount of items that you got, voila. Open and shut case, Johnson. That's what you do there. You don't get in the middle of Target talking about y'all owe me reparations. Victimhood. Yeah, they victimhooded her up. They Victor Hooded her. She had a whole altercation in there. Got physical too. She got physical. She hit the manager or some shit. Or no, the manager hit her, I think, too. Yeah, it got crazy. I gotta find that video. She hit him, he hit her, and dropped her too. You know, I'm definitely not a proponent for nobody hitting no woman, no black woman, no white woman, no woman. Come on, man. But I believe she did strike him first. And he struck her last. That masculine energy needs to go, ladies. Y'all need to stop trying to stand toe-to-toe to some of these men. Because some of these men ain't gonna take it. You know, I've always found myself, if a woman tried to hit me, I've always found myself trying to hold her. I ain't never tried to duck and dodge and then, I ain't never did all that. That's not in me. Because I know if I hit you, I'm going to jail. There's gonna be blood, there's gonna be marks, police gonna get there, they're gonna see me, I'm like, hey man, which way we going? Which way we going? I'm gonna put my arms behind my back. So I've never gotten into that whole hitting a woman thing, but I understand when it happens, dude, you're going to jail. Don't try to flee, don't try to run, don't take off. Don't take off, they gonna catch you, dog. They gonna catch you. Because you're gonna grab your cell phone and take off in your car. They're gonna ping your cell phone and they're gonna pull you over when you sitting there eating your cheeseburger in the parking lot. You going to jail. So do not strike no woman because you're going in. And don't get on the highway trying to head down south. Y'all kill me. Y'all do these crimes and the first thing you want to do is go south. Dummies. Okay. Do what you gotta do. Appreciate you, Free. So, when grandma knows and she puts a halt to things, you got to understand. Appreciate your information, man. You got to understand. There's what they say, something ain't right in the milk. Something ain't right in the milk. When grandma puts a halt on it, especially some money, that's what grandmas are for. That's what grandpas are for. They don't ever want to see your bag stopped. They want to give you money. You know, grandmas and grandpas, they like putting money in their hand and then shaking your hand. And when you pull it away, you got some money in your hand. And they take, don't tell nobody. Knowing you about to tell your mama, you about to tell your daddy. Grandma just gave me $5. Grandma just gave me $10, $20. My grandma back in the day was good for giving me $2 bills. She used to give me $2 bills, I'm telling you. And it stuck with me, man. It stuck with me. Y'all be thinking I just be up in this motherfucker talking. Where my shit at? Hold on a second. Telling you, it stuck with me, man. Stuck with me, dog. You know what I'm saying? When I say shit stick with me, y'all in here, we intimate now. Y'all family now, right? Y'all family. Y'all can see where I'm at with this shit. I'm trying to tell you. You see what I'm saying? $2 bill. $2 bill. $2 bill. $2 bill. I got $2 bills, man. I collect them. I collect them, man. I collect them just because of what I remembered, what used to happen back in the day, man. You know, what used to happen back in the day. And I can't wait for my grandkids to do stuff, you know, to start doing stuff. And I'll be like, okay, you go ahead and do that. I give you $2. And when I give them $2, that's what I'm going to give them. That's what I'm going to give them. I'm going to give them $2 bills, man. They might not be worth a thing. Uh-oh. One of my Legal Shield peoples is up in here. Sister Nikki. So me, Sister Nikki, and Sister Monica, we're going to break down the estates of the Black family. We're going to break down how to protect Black families. I'm already booking them. Monica already done booked. All I need is Sister Nikki to say yes, just let me know when, and we're going to get it together because we got to protect the state of the Black family by protecting the estate of the Black family. I do. We miss those days. Yeah, grandma always gave us money. They gave us bread. They gave us bread. They gave us a thought. They gave us a heart, boy. They gave us some stern words, some harsh ones sometimes. The words was harsh, but they was lovable words. They was teachable words. But at the end of it all, boy, they break you off. They give you some bread. They give you some bread. There you go. They're very hard to come by. Very, very hard to come by. So when you can get them, if I look over in a cash register and see somebody got a $2 bill, I'm like, let me get that. Let me get that $2 bill right there. They don't like to give them up. Maybe, what's it worth? I'm like, $2, man. What you doing? I mean, you know, it's a $2 bill. It's worth $2. Don't be trying to think that it's worth more, because it might be worth more one day. But I don't want the store clerk to be thinking it's worth something. It's worth $2, nigga. Give me my money. Take these 2 singles back and give me the $2 bill. And let's move forward amicably. Shall we? So, Sister Nikki says she in. So we're going to get this together, man. And like I said, life's got to get in play. Life's got to happen. Life can't, I mean, I have days, some days, and they don't be like bad days. They just be like really tough days to do this. I've been cooking in here an hour and 45 minutes. Some days I don't have an hour and 45 minutes to cook. I might have an hour and 45 minute clock time, but my spirit's got to be right. My spirit's got to be right an hour and 45 minutes before I stream. Then it's got to be right for an hour and 45 minutes after I stream. I can't just stream for an hour and 45 minutes and be up and really be down. See, that's how they make people perform. They'll make people perform even when they're not in the mood. I'm only going to perform when I'm in the mood. And I don't look at this as performative, but I know it's performing because I'm on a live stream. That's why I say the views of the Villager on Deck are not necessarily the views of people that I promote, people that I support, people that I'm in cahoots with. Because I'm in cahoots with some folks. Yes, I'm in cahoots with some folks. I sure am. And the people that I'm in cahoots with, we about to get it in. We about to get it in. So, man, I want to thank, for real, I want to thank everybody that contributed to Natty's graduation. You know, some people weren't physically able to be there for the open house. Some people dropped off a bag via the Cash App, you know, might have sent cards, you know, I had teachers send a card. My teacher from over 35 years ago sent a card to my house for Natalie. Man, I had kinfolk didn't send Natalie shit. I had blood relatives literally didn't send Natalie shit. When I done supported their kids, I done supported people in their immediate family on shit. And all they had to do was just put a little something together. 10, 20, 30, 40. You know, you can't put 40 together for my shorty? No, you couldn't put 40 together for my shorty? Fuck you. How about that? How about that? That's not Natalie saying it. That's not even Ray saying it. That's me saying it. Don't try to hold them against, don't hold nothing against them. I'm saying it. The views of the Villager on Deck, Shannon Keith McFall, are not necessarily the views of those I support, those I promote, and those I'm in cahoots with. But God damn it, if you cross them both ways, your ass is done. Yeah. So when you cross them by not supporting them after I've supported yours, we done. Do you hold grudges? Not really. I just forget about motherfuckers. I don't hold grudges. I don't hold grudges at all. I just forget about motherfuckers. That's better than holding a grudge. Why I need to be all fucked up, thinking about your dumb ass, thinking about your trifling ass, thinking about your selfish ass. No, we gonna move forward amicably. Yep. You are not going to affect the state of this black family. And I know, Ray ain't black. The family is dictated by the man of the house. And if the man is black and the man is the head of the house, it's a black family. Y'all don't remember that? Y'all don't remember that? Come on, man.
Y'all want to see a dead body?
You must want to see a dead body because I'm in here cooking. I'm in here cooking. Yeah, it is what it is, Free. It is what it is. Like I said, I'm not holding no grudges. I'm just forgetting niggas. I'm just forgetting them. And I'm good at forgetting shit. As much as I remember, as much as my brain retains, boy, I can forget some shit in a heartbeat. Faster than I can snap my finger, I can forget something. Done. Gone. No need to talk about it anymore. We're done. We're good. So, y'all think it's in my mind, but it don't be in my mind no more.
In my mind.
It don't be in my mind. It's gone. It's out my mind. You know what I'm saying? It's out my mind. Get to ask me something at the wrong time. I'll be like, Dick. Huh? I'm not going to remember. You be like, Shannon, you don't remember that? Huh? So, what we got here? We're coming to the close because I'm gonna be on here about 2 hours. I don't need to be on here no longer. I ain't trying to beat me and Ken McGee's record. Make sure y'all supporting Ken McGee locally, Washtenaw County, the next sheriff to be. Go to McGeeforsheriff.com. I bet you the other two sheriff candidates don't have a personal phone number on their website. He's available. If he don't answer, it's because he's out in the sticks somewhere and he ain't got a signal. Because he gonna answer his phone. Family, what's good with you? I'm gonna recognize family. When family show up, I'm gonna recognize them, appreciate the support. Because not all family shows up. We know this. I'll be at the September 2nd situation. I'll be at supporting the family. I'll be there. Put me down. If I got an RSVP, let me know where I got to go to RSVP. I'm coming. But we're coming to the close here. And boy, I tell you, can somebody verify this? Is somebody able to verify if this was real? Bet it up. Was this real, y'all? Was this a real tweet by Mamala? Did Mamala really say this? If a black student has a black teacher by the end of third grade, they're 13% more likely to go to college. If they have two black teachers, it's 32%. Investing in HBCUs and public education matters. You don't say. But did Mamala really say this? Or was it just a meme they made up to mock her? Because I don't want it to be something that they made up to mock her. If she really said this, and if these facts are really good stats, I want these facts that she spat to be good stats. Y'all don't get me started up in here. Please don't get me started up in here. I want her stats to be good, but I don't know if they're good or not because I don't really know about Kamala anymore. Kamala is, she's so different, you know? She's so different. And I really don't believe that she put this together on her own. I believe maybe somebody had to bring that information to her because she probably should know this information. But she's so far from the HBCU culture. Only time she is in that culture is when she puts herself in that culture, when she goes to the Howard games, when she goes to the Howard homecomings, when she gets on the live streams with her Howard sister girls, ski-wee. When she put her finger up, when she put that pinky finger up, y'all better understand, but y'all better really understand this.
I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm gonna do something that's only gonna benefit black people. No,
that's what you better understand. That's what you better understand. Because when you're talking about Kamala, you are talking about one of the biggest grifters in history of grifting. Kamala is one of the biggest grifters in the history of grifting. Not Griffin, but grifting. The Griffins are grifters too, but that's a whole different ball game, a whole different stat.
Wanted by the singles, now the Jews wanna try. They want some ski-week, ski-week. Ski-week, 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 ski-week.
I'm just trying to tell you. I'm not
gonna sit here and say I'm gonna do something that's only gonna benefit black people. No.
That's what we've been getting from Kamala. She went from ski-win to saying that she wasn't going to do something specifically for black people, which she was talking about reparations. Kamala said she didn't see it. I wish she'd have just said that, though. What do you think about reparations? I don't see it. Just said that. But when she said she wasn't going to specifically do something for black people, that cooked her goose with black people. Not the boule bourgeoisies, because they still rocking with Kamala. The boule bourgeoisies is still rocking with Kamala. The vote blue, no matter who jigaboos are still voting for Kamala. We know the people that put together the Essence Festival rocking with Kamala. She's on stage every year now making a fool of herself. They invite Kamala down to the Essence Festival like Kamala is blackity black, black, black. Was she in the Twerk Fest? Did Kamala get in the Twerk Fest with Megan the Mayor? Was she out there showing them titties like Janelle Monáe? No, she was just showing you her ass, y'all. She was just showing you her ass, as she always shows you. It was like, kiss this. Because she ain't putting no policy together for you. She ain't putting no legislation together for you. She ain't doing nothing for you. Got it, fam. Just got the inbox. Kamala ain't did nothing for black folks, but aggravate them since she been elected. The first black woman VP and now the most influential Asian woman in the world. What? You already know. If that's what Kamala is, if she's the first black woman vice president who was actually president for a few minutes while Joe Biden was getting his booty played with, getting a colonoscopy, they had to put him under and she had to take over. Just in case Joe didn't come up out that anesthesia, Kamala was president for about 90 minutes. Kamala was president for 90 minutes. Do y'all remember that day? And Joe got his colostomy? Not colostomy. Joe might have a colostomy. He got the colon thing. Colonoscopy. Colonoscopy, not colostomy. Joe might have a bag, for real. He might have a bag. If he doesn't have a bag, he's got a diaper. He's got a diaper. So, I just want to know if Kamala really said that. That's a real tweet. If that's a real tweet. Speaking of tweets, let me pull something else down. Because, man, I'm going to get to this. And then it flashed back into my head about Taharka Bey. Let me get this tweet out. I found this, and I've actually stayed very quiet on the whole Keke Palmer thing. Why? Because Keke Palmer's really not on my radar. I mean, I may sit and watch Akilah and the Bee, but Keke Palmer is not on my radar, you know? I've never really gotten into a lot of stuff that she's done as an adult. I did like her as Chili in the TLC movie. I thought she played a good Chili. Yeah, I thought Keke played a good Chili in the TLC movie. Now she might not be able to cook chili. I don't think Keke's really domesticated. I don't think she's a good cook. Not the way she out here doing things. But let me pull this up. Because this right here you know, I didn't agree with what Kiki did up there gyrating on Usher. I didn't really agree with it because I felt like she should have a little bit more self-respect. But she's an entertainer too, so that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to entertain folks. I looked at it both ways. And then I could see where the baby daddy was upset about it. So I looked at it from that perspective. Then I looked at it from the perspective that Kiki is an entertainer. So she gonna do what entertainers are gonna do. They gonna entertain. And what she did, for some, was entertaining. For some, was engaging. For me, as a young mother out here, I thought it was embarrassing. Because I'm not a young mother. I'm not even a young father anymore. I'm a grandfather. And I wouldn't want my granddaughter out there like that. And I wouldn't want my daughter out there like that. But let's skip all that. We know about Kiki and Usher. And Usher. We know about that. How about this? How about Kiki's baby daddy? He went off cold with it back in the day. Yeah. Kiki baby daddy had something to say back in the day. When Alton Sterling got deleted by them race soldiers down in Louisiana, he said he should have complied. He said Alton Sterling should have complied. Alton Sterling was selling CDs outside of a party store and got deleted after being thrown to the ground by two race soldiers with badges. They said he had a gun in his pocket. I don't know if he did or not. They shot Alton when he was on the ground, when they was both covering him up, when they couldn't get the cuffs on him. Maybe you couldn't get the cuffs on him because he wasn't resisting. Maybe Alton was a big dude. Maybe they needed better restraints, better capabilities, better tactics. Maybe they should have used another weapon versus using their service pistol. But they didn't. And Darius Dalton said that Alton should have complied. What would have happened if Alton Sterling had listened and followed the orders when the police officers yelled repeatedly to get on the ground? People tend to ignore the fact that you're supposed to obey the law regardless of the circumstances. Alton Sterling didn't comply. Alton Sterling could have made a situation easier. What? For everybody. So he didn't make it easy for himself. He didn't make it easy for himself. But I think he did make it easier for everybody. Because all they did was pull out their guns. And that stopped them from wrestling. That stopped them from being able for them having to put the handcuffs on them. Yeah, he said this back in the day, and it caught up to him. Look at this. They catch these tweets, man. They catch these tweets. That's from 2016. And he went in on Kiki. Now somebody done shown him going off code. I'm not saying he didn't have the right to go off on Kiki. That's his baby mama. Just like his tweets is online, that video gonna be online forever. Kiki's kids gonna see that video. People gonna be young kids gonna be looking at Kiki's booty when they get older and can get on the internet. Yeah. But since he wanted to be that way, I'm gonna be this way.
Buttermilk biscuits, I enjoy it.
And speaking of buttermilk biscuits,
Buttermilk biscuits, I enjoy it.
That brother just died. The brother that said buttermilk biscuits, he died. And I haven't heard what the circumstances of his death were. I don't know if it was due to morbid obesity or not. I am going to check to find out why or how he died. But he did pass away. Rest in power, brother. Rest in power. I'm not sure exactly how he died or why he died, but he just died. But that buttermilk biscuits wasn't for him. It was for Darius Dalton for saying that Alton Sterling should have complied. Yeah, because you couldn't get Kiki to comply. That's one thing. But Alton Sterling is another thing. Alton Sterling didn't deserve to die, and Kiki don't deserve to die. I hope he don't ever do no physical harm to that woman. But he seems a little bitch made. He seems a little bitch made. He jumped off code back in 2016 and they found it. They found it. Boy, that's it. That stuff is never going away. You can delete all you want. It's in the sphere. It's in the cloud. It's in the cloud. And somebody pulled it out the cloud and put it online again. How about that? How about that? And how about this? Because we just over 2 hours and I'm about to get out of here. I got to get this thing about Taharka Bay up though. How about this? They just throwing Jamie back out here. Supposedly, I haven't seen anything. I still haven't seen when they said he was on camera talking. I don't know if anybody else seen that or if it was authentic. But supposedly, Jamie Foxx is going to produce the Luther Vandross documentary. I haven't seen anything concrete in this by any major outlet. And I don't know where this came from, but supposedly he's putting together the Luther Vandross documentary. I don't know if he's going to star in it or if he's just producing it. He's going to get somebody else to star in it. I'm sure Jamie can impersonate Luther. I'm sure he can sing like Luther. If he can do Ray, he can do Luther. But how come ain't nobody talking about what's wrong with Jamie Foxx? Why they just throwing him back out here for work? Now I'm starting to see his casino commercials on again. And they not new ones, they old ones. They had kind of slowed him down a little bit. Because you know when people see those commercials, they think Jamie's still out here. But they had to slow him up a little bit when they were talking about Jamie was about to die. Like how he about to die, but he's still at the casino. Now they starting to play him again, now that he's starting to come back, or saying he's coming back. They done put up fake people on Facebook talking about Jamie Foxx seen out in public. It don't be Jamie Foxx. I done seen that meme. That's not Jamie Foxx. I done seen a couple memes that are not Jamie Foxx. Might be Jimmy Foxx, but it ain't been Jamie Foxx. I know Jamie Foxx when I see him. I done seen all the roles he done played. I know Jamie Foxx when I see him. And damn it, I know Jimmy Foxx too. Shit. Why they keep messing around with people? So, let me do this. Bring this on up. And I'm going to try to find this Taharka Bay situation. What's Taharka say? Demonstration. I'm trying to find it. Hold on one quick second. Excuse me. I shouldn't have did that right in the mic. That was rude. That was rude. I think I got to go to another account because I think I saved it on the other account. Just give me one quick second here. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Yeah. So I was watching this. I was literally watching this Taharka Bay stream. And I'm gonna actually email Taharka. I'm gonna actually email Taharka and make sure he checks out. Make sure he checks out this part of the stream. Because I don't even think I put Taharka in the hashtags. I definitely didn't put him in the title caption, but I don't think I put him in a hashtag. But what it is, I want him to know that I looked at that stream of his with such sincerity. Okay? And I saw and heard something that I needed to see and hear. I picked up something. I always pick up something from his streams, but I picked up something special. Give me one quick second. Where is it at? So thankful that that young girl is home with her family. Hopefully that didn't come through. Did that come through? It came through my headphones. I got to get it back on. So, all right, I think I got it. All right. Is the sound still good? Is the volume still good? I feel like I'm kind of plateauing here, but this is really the last thing that I'm going to touch on. Hopefully the volume is still good, because I need to bring in another screen share. Let's see. Screen share. Yes. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to play something, and let me get the bed down because I want you to have clear audio of this. Listen to this Taharka Bey video. Listen to this Taharka Bey video. I'm gonna put it up on the screen so you can see him. And like I said, I'm at what, 2 hours, about 2 hours and 12 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it up now. Okay. Sharing the screen. So right there. Says here, I'm exposing the internet prophets. Why you mad? Just prove me wrong. Taharka comes through with a lot of proof. Appreciate you, Free. He comes through with a lot of proof. And I know a lot of people don't like Taharka's proof. But I'm nowhere near the podcaster that Taharka is in these YouTube streets. His platform is umpteen times bigger than me. He has subscribers all over the planet. And his research is truly undeniable. Some of the things that he says, I ain't seen nobody else come across with some of the proof that he's come across with. And I like the way he delivers. I believe that you have to truly be yourself within this sphere. And I've never really not been myself. I've just allowed some of myself to hold back. Now I don't do that. And I know that irritates people by not holding back. But hell, it irritated people even when I said what I said and I held back. So why not let it all go? Why not just let it go? If you're going to make them mad, make them all the way mad. Don't make them a little mad. Make them all the way mad. Because I'm not making anybody mad because I'm saying lies about them. I'm making people mad because I'm speaking truths about them. And if I was making you mad because I was lying about you, all you got to do is have me taken out with a cease and desist, have them marking every video I put up, proving that what I'm saying is a falsehood. But ain't nobody doing that because can't nobody do that. What I say is what it is. What Taharka says is what it is. And I'm not vying to be the president of the Taharka Bey fan club, but I do subscribe and I have supported his stream. But what I am going to do, I'm going to play this, and it's about 5 minutes long. So just give me this, family. It's about 5 minutes long. Just give me this. And I'm going to take the liberty of, while he's doing that, of grabbing something else so I can show you. Because I love people that like to talk about what they're doing now and even about what they did back then. But I'm going to connect a couple dots on some things when I come back. But I need to harken to Cook. I need to harken to Cook where he was with this stream, and then we're going to get on up out of here. We're going to get on up out of here.
That doesn't make sense. If I grew up in an era where the white man was the devil, according to you.
Here we go. Hold on a second.
Family. I don't get it. I really don't understand how people can fall for these things. It just blows me away that in this day and time that we would actually fall for these types of things. It just blows me away that we would fall. I thought we was a little more intelligent than this. I did. As a people, I thought we was past this because, the preacher got shut down a long time ago. I mean, like things like this. Take something like this. Take something like this. How is it that a brother in the NOI can actually bring a European into the circle and ultimately introduce our people into the European circle, and no one sees a problem with that and will get mad at me if I question it? That doesn't make sense. If I grew up in an era where the white man was the devil, according to you, and now I'm still in the flesh, and now the white man is your friend. Now, I never said the white man was the devil. You said it. But now the white man is your friend. How in the world am I supposed to think that this is some sort of legitimate movement, philosophy, or theology? If you told me, let me be clear one more time, family. People are scared to have these conversations. They are in love with personality. You know what I mean? If you tell me, if I grew up in the 80s and all I heard was the white man is the god devil, and I heard that the white man is the skunk of the earth, and was anybody around in the 80s, or was it just me? In the early 90s and the 80s, was anybody around? Press 7 if anybody was around in the 70s and 80s and heard these stories and messages. Anybody? I was around. I got pumped up off of that stuff sometime. I got excited. The goddamn white man. I was there. I took it all in. And now, today, white man, he ain't the devil no more. And I can't speak on it. And I can't say nothing. And I'm the bad guy if I ask you why the white man ain't the devil today. Well, he is the devil, but he's not the devil like the devil was the devil. Why am I the bad guy? Why am I the bad guy if I do a podcast asking why is this white man no longer the devil? Or is he the devil? What's going on with the devil? Is it devilish? Is it devilfish food cake?
Devilish.
What is it?
Devilicious.
Hey, what is it? I'm just trying to figure this thing out. I mean, if he ain't the devil no more, just let me know. Just let me know so I know how we moving now. They gonna get mad.
Negroes, do your duty.
Man. See, Talker Basie, that's the problem. You play too much. It ain't what you say, it's how you say it.
I get that a lot. It ain't what you say, it's how you say it.
Just let me know so I know how we moving, man. That's all I need to know. I mean, If you just tell me how I'm moving, I mean, just let me know, man, because I don't want to be lost in the sauce. I need to be on point.
What about that sauce? You got that sauce,
Listen,
Tarka? You got that sauce?
I need to be on point, man. I don't want to be lost like everybody else, man. And this is what I'm saying. So is this all a grift? Was that all a grift to get us emotionally charged, get us amped up? You know what I mean? You know, it was funny to me, right? Y'all ain't gonna like this, but I'm gonna call it what it is. And I don't have no problem. I don't have no problem with how people move. But I do have a problem with contradictions. You know what I'm saying?
Here we go, y'all.
So,
check this out.
You know, I don't know if anybody in here from Baltimore or DC, but back in the day, right?
Here we go.
While the minister was saying that the white man was the devil and the skunk of the earth, and the government had a plot to exterminate us, they were getting government contracts to be security in the projects.
ARPA funds.
But when we were younger, we didn't know that those was government contracts. We thought that NOI was concerned with the plight of our people in those bad areas. Now today that I'm a little bit older and I find out that they were government contracts, I'm like, hold up. How is it that we're talking about the white man, the devil, and that the government is sure enough plotting against us, yet somebody had to sit down and negotiate government contracts with the same devil, the same administration that is plotting to get us?
It wasn't the board of county commissioners, was it? Was it the board of county commissioners?
People get mad at me. This type of truth gets people mad. I know people get mad at me, but this is the thing. Why can't we talk about these things? Why can't someone say, okay, listen, we just chose the lesser of the evils.
There we go.
We just chose the lesser of the evils.
That's a Democrat
talking. The thing is that on the front stage, the white man was the devil. On the front stage, he was the skunk of the planet Earth. But back behind the cover, they were negotiating, getting contracts. And I'm not saying that, man, we were so proud to see NOI in the projects. Did anybody see that? Huh?
We don't have NOI. We don't have
Somebody
NOI.
say was flags on Latrobe.
We got
Did anybody see that? Look like a Saw Milton up in there. Did anybody see that? Did anybody see NOI in the projects?
We got felons.
We was proud of that. But then years later, you will find out, oh, man. Oh, man.
Disheartening, man.
Brother said, was that Flag of Latrobe? They was in all of them. I don't know if it was Flag of Latrobe, but I remember Lafayette. I remember Murphy Homes. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh, man.
Now they just take care of 48197 and 48198.
Have our people always been emotionally manipulated? Were we emotionally manipulated? The reason why I'm asking these questions, because going into the future, we need to learn not to be emotionally manipulated.
That's where I got to stop. I'm going to stop that there. And I appreciate Taharka. Like I said, I'm going to end up tagging him in this, and I'm going to end up emailing him and making sure that he checks out the stream somewhere right around what it was about 2:15, something like that. Not sure exactly how long, but yeah, I'll make sure that he checks out. It was so true what he was saying there. So true. I mean, you've got to be in a situation to understand that when I feel like people are getting over on the people, that's when I speak up. I'm a villager on deck. I'm going to speak up for the village, because the village isn't always going to talk. The village isn't always going to say things. Some people don't say things out of fear. Some people don't say things because they don't understand the dynamic of what's put in play. Some people don't say things because they're just ignorant to it all. Some people don't say anything because they're complicit with it all. That's a long book, Monica. I'm not sure exactly what that is. Hold on one second. Wow. The entire county board of commissioners, the executive administrator, Dill, and all the county elected officials, sheriff, clerk, treasurer, got raises while folks' food assistant was cut. Well, we got to talk to Jeff Irwin about that, because Jeff Irwin's real big with the SNAP benefits, right? Jeff Irwin's real big with the SNAP benefits. You know, I know they was really hooping it up because Gretchen Whitmer took all the restraints of the SNAP benefits. She took all that stuff down. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to get SNAP benefits now based on your income or your chattel. You know what I'm saying? Your income or your chattel will keep you okay with SNAP benefits. Your SNAP benefits are no longer going to be threatened because Governor Whitmer signs a bill removing asset limits for SNAP food assistance. You hear me? Y'all ain't got to worry about putting your car in somebody else's name. Y'all ain't got to worry about taking your bank account and pulling it out every time you report to see, and they want to see how much money you got in there, or having your bank account be in somebody else's name. They removing all asset limits for people with SNAP food assistance. However, folks with food assistance in some cases were cut from $129 to $25. Wow. You cut $100 off somebody's food assistance? How do you expect them to survive? You cut 80% of somebody's food assistance off? Now, $129 ain't shit anyway. $129 barely cover the bed of your grocery cart. The problem is the total asset limit on income was not raised. I thought they said there are no limits now. You can have as much money in your bank account as you so desire, but it won't affect your food assistance. Removing asset limits. I read it said something about not having to, take all the money out of your bank account, not having to say, sell your car. I want to make sure that that's what it is. That's what it says it is, because that's what they said it was. They said this bill right here will remove all limits to assets and savings. Okay. Yeah, I might be confused. I might be disillusioned. I might just be flat out wrong on this. And if I'm wrong and Monica's right, I will come back on the next stream and be like, hey, make sure you mind that money. Because they said assets. They said savings. But the income. See, y'all catching that? You still can't make a certain amount of money. See, they really don't want you to get up off the government tit. This is Democrats working for you, really working against you. They don't want you to get off the tit. They don't want you working enough to where you don't need the food assistance, but they don't give you enough food assistance to assist you. They don't have any limits on assets. They don't have any limits on savings, but they got limits on how much money you can make. The math ain't mathing, y'all. The math ain't mathing. And you know, if the math ain't mathing, something needs to be subtracted. Because if we can't add, something's got to be subtracted. Because they not allowing us to multiply because they dividing us. This is crazy here. To remove the asset limits, to remove the savings and checking account limits, but you still gonna put a constraint on somebody on how much money they can make. Math ain't mathin'. But it's truly a democratic situation, so I gotta say something truly democratic.
I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm gonna do something that's only gonna benefit black people. No.
Yeah. I'm trying to tell you. I'm in a space now. You done put me up on some game, Monica. You done put me up on some game. Now that we done got to hark up out of here, let me go and start this back up. You know? Where we are right now, man, we just here. We just here. And I think this has been, I'm going to say, a decent stream. I'm not really going to toot my own horn on this because I really don't know how everything sounded and looked until I go back and listen and look. But I don't do this a lot online, but I was able to find a, damn, my voice ain't no good. You just gonna crush my ego like that, Free? Free said that voice. I'm doing the best I can, Free. But I think this has been a decent stream. I want to thank Frida, always keeping the chat room popping. Information man coming in and staying in. Sister Monica, Sister Nikki. Brother Trey was in here earlier. Don't know if he's still in the paint. Prime Legend via a device where he can't get into the chat. Appreciate that, Free. And anybody else is going to check this out. I'm so glad, so thankful that Carly Russell was able to get back home to her family. It's so many times they don't. More times than not. It didn't leave me hopeful. It didn't leave me positive. Oh. I just had to play it for context. You know, Free, I got to stay in pocket if I'm going to be out of pocket. So I appreciate everybody that's checked out this live, everybody that's going to check out the playback, and I appreciate the people that ain't going to check it out at all. Y'all ain't supposed to be here anyway. Go watch some twerk videos or something, some fight videos. Go watch all that stuff that don't amount to nothing. Because the state of the black family relies on the estate of the black family. And all y'all got to do,
Negroes, do your duty.
Just do your duty. Do your duty. If y'all not going to do your duty, get out the paint. If you just out here for the bag, I get it. Tell people initially, though, that you out for the bag. Don't tell people you working for the people. You hear me? Stop telling folks that you here for the people. Y'all not here for the people. Y'all here for the bag. And there's nothing wrong with being here for the bag. But don't say you for the people and you really for the bag. I get it. You living for the bag. I live for the opportunity. Because when I get the opportunity, I get the bag. Y'all don't know how to get the opportunity. Y'all know how to get that bag, though. Y'all know how to get that government contract. Y'all know how to get that government contract. Tell you. It's a lot of pressure, man, when they put that bread in your hand. I talked about it one day. I was like, man, has anybody ever even seen, any of them cats ever seen $1 million? I done seen it. I done counted it. I done stared it right in the face. And the dude told me to look at it. He's like, just because it's not yours, you need to see what it looks like. Because truthfully, it's nothing in the grand scheme of things if you ever think about doing something wrong with it. He's like, the money isn't worth anything. The money is not worth anything if you don't do something righteous with it. The money is worth nothing. Currency is worth nothing if you don't do something righteous with it. Especially if that's how you acquired the money. They're going to be looking on the back end. You know that, Monica. But I showed this earlier, right? Let me take you back. Mind the colors, please. Mind the colors. IPSI Black History Month 2018. 2018. I know a lot of people like to think that I just came on the scene, that I ain't never really done nothing in IPSI, but I was fucking with IPSI way back in the day, back in the 90s, back when a lot of folks was in prison or on drugs or on alcohol. I was doing shit back in the day. Fed plenty of people over on Arbor Drive with that barbecue, with that fried fish, with that fried chicken. Fed plenty of people. Delivered some of the meals myself. When they didn't have the money, I said, you know what? Pay me when you get paid. And they always did. But this is what I was doing. You see that little logo in there? You see that dark side logo? Broadcasted by the dark side. I was over there at Park Ridge. I was over there. I was representing. Got thrown out of meetings. Lois and them would throw me out of cannabis meetings and shit. Or just shut me down. They wouldn't even answer my questions. Now look at the South Side. Full of black dispensaries and not one black owner. Not one black owner. Not one black owner. But y'all got your plugs. Y'all got your plugs on the South Side. They was giving out free ounces of cannabis. They was giving out free, I got a yep. I got a confirmation from the village. I got a confirmation from the village. Got another confirmation from the village. I tried to tell them it's bigger than just the cannabis industry. If we want to talk about generational wealth, we got to put some seeds in the soil. And I am playing on every pun there. But because we chose not to put no seeds in the soil, there will be no harvest on the South Side. This ain't no blunt, y'all. This ain't no blunt. They got a dispensary right next to a church. And the dispensary's banners were lined all across the front of the church. And people were waiting to pick up cannabis, and that line stretched all the way through the church's parking lot. Cars were everywhere. Parking lot was filled. People was trying to get that free zip. They was trying to get that free zip. Driving down Michigan Ave by the old Forbes liquor store, right across the street was the plasma center, the church, and the dispensary. Yep. It's right there. It's right there. You ain't going up in Forbes and getting your daily things no more unless they consist of cannabis. I'm gonna let y'all be who y'all are. But don't talk about me because I'm me. Because I'm gonna be who I'm gonna be. I tried to tell you. I'd come to your meetings. I'd come to your little things. And the fact that y'all had grifters out there running your programs, that ain't my fault. I got invited, I showed up. I brought my equipment, I brought my microphone, I did what I was supposed to do. But because I was an outsider looking in, y'all shut the door on me. I'm glad I got all my stuff out of there because y'all shut the door on me. Look at you now. Look at you now. Is it in my mind?
In my mind.
I don't think so. I don't think so. That's okay. I tried to get with you. I tried to get with you, but you wouldn't let me do shit with you. Oh, I'm sure she does. I'm sure Mr. Tewson's niece has something to do with that. Somerville and the Tewsons is tight. They kinfolk. Yeah, I was never really a part of the group, but I'm gonna still play this.
The group? I'm the best thing ever happened to this damn group. The group? I'm the best thing ever happened to this damn group.
I tried to be there for y'all. I really did. And it's been years. It's 2023 now. Everybody think I just showed up in 21, 22. I was messing around with them in 17 and 18 when I first got in the cannabis game. I used to deliver over on the South Side. Real talk. Let's talk about it. I used to deliver on the South Side of Michigan Ave. I'm not scared of the South Side. I did business over on the South Side. I helped to get legalized. And I signed petitions on the South Side. I used to hold meetings at Beezy's. People don't really get it. All we had to do was come together for one thing, and we put roots on the South Side. And it wasn't about having a dispensary. But what about that grow facility? They could have hired 100 people right from the South Side. What about that cultivation facility, that processing facility where it could have made all types of edible products? We're talking about another 50 people. What? And then you got your storefront. Go on over there to the patient station and ask that manager how many people he has on his payroll. All those jobs could have came for Ipsy residents. All those jobs. All those jobs could have been given to Ipsy residents. I wasn't trying to get jobs for people in Ann Arbor. People in Ann Arbor was taking care of themselves. And hell, I had already been messed up in the city of Ann Arbor. The first black woman to own a dispensary. Her daughter didn't want to do good business. She wanted to take my product, sell my product, and go buy her products from the white man. There's no longer a black-owned dispensary in Ann Arbor. I definitely tried. I definitely tried. I got history with this thing. I just don't always talk about it. But what am I holding back now for? Because you got people out here running their mouth talking about, we knew to this and true to this and we threw to this and we built. What? What's all the fuss about? What's all the fuss about? That fuss is us. No, it's not. That fuss is all them nonprofits that didn't get no money. Like I said, I didn't have no skin in that game. I'm not upset about felons getting funds. That's not my concern. I do want to talk to them Board of County Commissioners, though. I do want to talk to the administrator, though. I know Jerry ain't going to talk to me. I know Derek ain't going to talk to me. But I just want to know how. Why? Am I my brother's keeper? Am I my brother's keeper? All you had to do, you had one job.
Negroes, do your duty.
But y'all wanted to do something else. And that's okay. It all comes out in the wash. It all comes out in the wash. But y'all be good out here, man. I stretched way past the time frame that I thought I'd be up here. In my county, we need to be thinking change on the policing front. I think they will not listen as they are too busy counting greenbacks. Hey, some people lose their hearing. Some people lose their hearing when that money start coming in. I'm telling you, Monica, people lose their hearing. They get them money machines because you know they ain't counting that money by themselves for a variety of reasons. They got their money counters. Frrr, frrr, woo. They buying the money machines with ARPA funds. Boy, I tell you, y'all something else. Y'all something else.
Y'all want to see that body?
I think they seen one. Almost 3 hours in. I just didn't mean to hold y'all this long. But if I'm going to be long, I'm going to be strong. Appreciate y'all. If you came in late, you're not tardy. Just go back and watch the beginning to make it all make sense. Because the math ain't mathing in Washtenaw County. And I need them to be thinking about change. What's today, the 16th? We've had 10 murders in 42 days. 10 murders in 42 days. 18 for the year. We're on pace for 30. We haven't had 30 murders in the last 2 years combined. So we need a change. We need a change of the guard. And if we're going to have that, we need to have it with Ken McGee. McGee for sheriff. He's real police. He's real people. But I know y'all don't like him, but because he's not real political. One love.
You know, this revolution is filled with so many ironies, really. First, you know that it is manly to keep your word, right? If you are a man, you keep your word. And now all of the black people in this country are demanding, and even the black people in the whole world are demanding, is that you keep your word. You told us we were free. Well, then show us that we're free. You told us that there is justice, equality for all in this country. Well, then stick to your word and let us see the justice and equality for all. Or else admit to us that you're not a man, you're a worm, you're afraid of us, you're afraid to give us equal stand. You're afraid that if you give us equal ground, that we will match you and we will override you.
Negroes, do your duty.
Did you say nigger?
In the group, I'm the best thing ever happened to this damn group.